Hello and welcome to my first run through Akron's Inferno Hard. I wanted to give you guys a video so that you could learn from my mistakes. Let's get started. First off, there's 4 bosses in here. There's usually 3, so we get an extra boss. The first boss is Darumag. He is a typical Fimberlisk. He does all the things that you would expect from a Fimberlisk. The one thing that he has is that he has a shield mechanic where he runs to a corner of the room, and if he makes it to that corner, he gets a damage buff, and then all of his abilities pretty much one-shot everybody. You can still iframe all of his abilities, so you'll be okay. The tanks will take damage through all of their blocks, but this can be healed through, so it's not a huge deal. Alright, on to the second boss, Magma Rocks. This boss will spawn adds throughout the entire encounter, and these adds will attack an object sitting in the middle of the room. And what you want to do is you want to have one tank, and that tank tanks it on the side where the adds will spawn, and then you can cleave down those adds as you're attacking the boss. And then you want to dedicate 1 to 2 DPS to the other side of the room, and they will clear those adds. Now, this boss has a couple different mechanics. One of the mechanics is he will jump forward, and then he'll do like a little wiggle, and right after that, he'll do an AoE right behind him. He also periodically jumps to other members of the raid. So what you want to do is if you see him jumping towards you, just iframe out of the way. Don't get flattened. Another mechanic he does is a Beyblade mechanic where he just goes into his shell, starts spinning around the room, and it's pretty predictable where he's going to go. So just get out of melee range and just back up some and you'll be okay. And finally, he has another mechanic where he covers the room with yellow telegraphs, and all you have to do is just go to the safe zones. Alright, time for the third boss, Samar. Now Samar is a typical Hydrath. It's just a tank and spank. It's a really easy fight. For range, you can stand at 15 meters away. And if you're melee, you're going to see a bunch of red telegraphs on the ground, and all you have to do is iframe out of them and you'll be okay. Periodically, though, she does cover the entire room with red AoE telegraphs, and you just want to find the safe zones in there. Alright, on to the last boss, Duras. Now, he's got a couple different things that you have to watch out for, but all in all, it's not too difficult of a fight. One of his mechanics is a whip mechanic. Now, he targets someone with secondary aggro and throws a whip at them. Now, this is very fast. It is much faster than we're used to in Velux Hold Hard mode, but it's the same concept. Just be careful that if you get secondary aggro, be alert. It's coming really quick. And this whip does a lot of damage. It one-shots anybody who is not a tank, and if a tank's not blocking it, it will do some serious damage. He's got another move that gives somebody secondary aggro. It's very similar to Velux Hold Hard mode second boss, where he targets them, his hand starts like glowing and spinning, and then he's going to shoot a blast at you. All you gotta do, get out of the way from it. And next thing is that he'll spawn adds throughout the encounter, and honestly, you can just ignore them. It seems that all they do is they go over to a vent and get sucked into it, and they just stay there. And this could be a problem if your DPS is really low, because you'll need the vents for later on. And if the adds are there, then they're going to be blocking them. Other than that, though, they can pretty much be ignored. Now on to Duras' main mechanic. He's going to say that he's received the gift of fire. And after that, he's going to say, burn for me. When he does that, lava is going to come from the edge of the room and come into the middle and do an explosion. Now at this time, you want to run over to a vent and stand on the vent. Now the thing is you can only have 3 people on a vent at the same time, and this doesn't include adds. So what the vent does is it shoots you up into the air, and it keeps you up into the air so that you are floating above the lava and you don't take any damage. Now, however, if there's more than 3 people, then somebody gets left behind and they will die. However, this move, if timed correctly, can be iframed. So if you do happen to miss a vent, or somebody else comes over at the last minute and you get stuck behind, you can iframe it to survive. All right, Duras' last mechanic. He's going to gain a shield. Then he says he's going to focus somebody. Now that person, he will follow them and keep trying to stomp on them. Now what we found, the best thing to do is for that person just to stack onto the tanks and just keep DPSing or healing from the front of the boss and just take the damage. The damage is it's not too bad, and that the healers can just heal you through it. All right, guys, thank you for watching my video of the first run through Akaran's Inferno hard mode on console. I hope you learned something from my mistakes, and I gave you some insight today. And if you like this video, consider leaving a like. And if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, if you have any comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to answer them.